Hey guys, this is Amit from PlayersBox, and just a day, 2 days after the Wimbledon's finals, we gotta get used to going back to the regular tournaments, and the tour goes on. We have four men's tournaments this week. It's kind of a little bit different and maybe strange after the hype of the championship in London and. Just few weeks from Roland Garros, so back-to-back Grand Slams is a lot of excitement, and now
It's
it's
like
back.
the party for all the children that wasn't invited for the big party.
That's true, but it's back to normal now. It's actually not that usual to have four ATP going at the same time, and I gotta tell you that that's the last year of Newport. Newport is the Hall of Fame. Is at Newport, and it's a grass court tournament that's been going on for many many years, but that's getting off the calendar, as well as Atlanta, and that would make, by the way, Dallas into a 500 event. So kind of 250s, couple of 250s disappearing in order to create a few new 500s. But let's talk about the 500 we still have in the calendar, which is Hamburg clay courts. The clay courts in Europe season is back. A couple of tournaments going on at the same time, and Hamburg originally was a 1,000 event for many
Yeah.
years, and then got downgraded to a 500 event. Zverev has been playing this tournament for years, and he's the top seed. So we got him. A bunch of South American. There was Sorandelu has defeated Komsana, and Martinez has managed to win a lot of your typical clay court players. Lajovic defeated Alves, the Brazilian, in the first round. Munar lost to Fils. Fils is interesting. The Frenchman, the young Frenchman. Whenever we talk about the new generation, we kind of seem to a bit forgotten about him. The kid's young. He's 21 years old. He's a big player. He's already won a tournament coming up on tour. On his first year, he won the tournament in Lyon prior to last year's Roland Garros. So he's very, very good. It will be interesting to see if Rune continues his mediocre performance. He's the second seed in this tournament. So it's an opportunity for a lot of, let's say, players that don't shine on the big events. And Hamburg is a 500. So it's actually a pretty easy 500 if you compare it, to Washington, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time, or if you compare it to the indoors in Basel or Vienna, or even the Asian tournament. So quite an open tournament over there.
Or
And
Barcelona.
exactly. So it's a time period the top players are taking off before heading to the hard courts in America. So it's a big opportunity for these guys. The second event is interesting. That's Bostad. Bostad is a party place in the south of Sweden. Traditionally a great party tournament. Players are having a lot of fun over there, and this year they have a special guest and a special wild card. You know
Both
who
of
it
them
is?
wild cards. Both of them wild cards.
Yeah, exactly. So Rafael Nadal, as preparation for next week's Olympic Games in Paris on clay, has taken a wild card, and today he played against Leo Borg, the son of the great Bjorn Borg. I would have died. I would have killed to watch Nadal play Borg at his best.
Yeah.
So he got his son. Leo Borg made some improvements, about 400 in the world, battling in the challenger and future level. And today he gave a good match. He lost to Nadal 6-3, 6-4. Wasn't a very impressive match by Nadal, but okay, he got the win. And let's see how he does in the next round, where I believe that Nadal in the next round, let's see who he plays. He plays
Cameron
Cameron
Norrie.
Norrie. He
Not
plays
easy.
Norrie.
Not
So that
easy.
should be interesting to see if he can take one of the better players on tour. Norrie is not having a great season. He's ranked between 30 to 40 in the world,
But
but still,
still.
he's a former top 10 player. So it will be interesting to see how Rafa plays over there. Rublev is seeded. He's the top seed in this tournament. We have Benya, the Spaniard, Nagel, the Indian, who's playing well lately, Djokovic, and Casper Ruud, the second seed. So a bit of depth of clay court players in this tournament. will be interesting, and I'm sure that everybody would like to see Rafa goes deep there. The courts are not that great, so they're not like your typical Roland Garros style courts, you know. It's the summertime, and I gotta tell you that the investment in these tournaments is not as it is before Roland Garros, the preparation tournaments leading up to the clay court Grand Slam. But still, these tournaments are a lot of fun. It's summertime, and it's hot, and Rafa would like to get a couple of wins on his belt, getting ready for the Olympics in Roland Garros. The third tournament, similar, Gstaad, just its altitude, played in the mountains in a ski resort during the summer. An opportunity to see Stan Wawrinka in one of his last times, and Dominic Thiem definitely for the last time. Unfortunately, he has lost in the first round. By the way, did you see he lost a lot of weight, huh?
Yeah, very thin. And he played well. It was a shame.
Well, played well, but I mean, I mean, he's got a couple of more tournaments. I think he wants to retire with a wild card in Vienna, his hometown, and that would be a nice ending for a marvelous career. The top seed in Gstaad is Tsitsipas, and Tsitsipas played doubles and won with his brother, so he's there. It's altitude, so you know, kind of guys with big serves are doing well there. Humbert is dangerous. Berrettini is there. Watch out for Berrettini. Felix Aliassime is trying to gain confidence again. So there's a couple of good players. You can see how the players are spread around. The top 10, not really, one or two are playing, but the rest of the field, you know, I would say from 10 to 30 or even 40, and some lower ranking players, it's kind of spread out between these three clay court tournaments in Europe. 3 clay court ATP in the same week. So 500 points, 250 and 250. That's 1,000 points given this week for the clay court players. So a big opportunity.
Fabio Fognini is the number 7 seed in Gstaad.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised not to see Batista, who played well in those tournaments, you know, but it's an opportunity for a lot of guys that would not get in to the hard courts in the US. And then as we spoke about the Newport tournament, you know who's back on tour?
Riley Opelka.
Riley Opelka, yes, the big serving guy, the artist, the art man. He's back, and he won his first round, actually, 7-6 in the third against Lestine, the Frenchman. So that's good to see him again. He will play Manarino, the defending champion, who would be looking for some points. He hasn't really played great. I think he lost first or second round of Wimbledon to Monfils. So he would be looking for points. A lot of American. It's great to see, by the way, Harris, the British guy, continuing his good form on grass court, you know. So a bunch of college graduators, you know. Spizzirri, who played for Texas. And then you have Ethan Quinn, who was the former, not this year, the year before, 2023 NCAA champion. I think that Nakashima will do well there. He's playing against Nava in the first round. Marcus Giron, a bunch of American players, and you can expect one of the Americans to make the finals of this tournament. They like playing there. It's the last time they play on this magnificent site up in Rhode Island. So let's see how that goes. A big opportunity this week. There's over 1,000 points, 1,250 points to be distributed to these players, with a big opportunity for second-tier players to gain their points leading up to next week. Then the 500 in Washington, the Olympics in between that doesn't give points, but a lot of prestige there. And everybody wants to know whether Alcaraz is going to continue his domination. Is Novak, you know, can he play on clay courts? Grass court is one thing, but can he go back to the same court where he got injured just a couple of weeks ago? And of course, Rafa and Alcaraz in doubles, is there a chance for a medal, you know? So I know that Rafa is trying to gain confidence in order to continue playing. He knows that his retirement is around the corner, but he's not really stating a date. But boy, he needs to play better singles in order to think about playing for another year or so. What would be your guess? Like, how long do you think we're going to enjoy having Rafa on tour. Because I mean, every place he plays, every place he plays it's big news, right?
Yeah. Personally, it's difficult for me to see him passing Nori. Nori played amazing in Wimbledon. You know, if he will come up with that level, you know, it will be difficult for Rafa to win. It's
Well,
time.
it's a preparation tournament, but you're right. He has to play better. You know, it would be like a 6th, 7th, 8th match in the last, I don't know, 3 months. It's about time that he plays a very good match. He played okay against Zverev in the first round of Roland Garros. It was a tough draw to get. And he played well, especially one set, you know, that was very close. But I think that also he's hoping for one good win to also gain his confidence.
Today was very rusty today.
Yeah, I know.
He won,
The
but
whole
you know,
condition.
still,
Look,
Borg is
it's a
like
vacation play.
couldn't hurt him. Borg is like 300, 340 in the world. It's not really a match. But someone like Cameron Norrie tomorrow could really that would be the real test to see where he is in terms of capability.
The good point is that the good part of it is that, you know, the players are not really coming in full power into these 250 events. So maybe he does have a chance. Let's see how he plays tomorrow. At the same time, I got to tell you, it can get windy over there. It's by the beach. You know, conditions are not great. Courts are not great. But Rafa is hoping for, I would expect him to actually go to Hamburg and play the 500 there on better courts and better conditions to get ready for Paris. But I guess he wanted some easier matches and not to face these Argentinians from the first round. And he got that. It was an easy match today, even though he didn't play well. So he got through. So hopefully he can get another good match tomorrow, and that should help his confidence. Pretty amazing how a guy with so many slams, 22 slams, and so much experience, and he's searching for confidence, huh?
Yeah. Well,
but anyway,
in a way, it wasn't the same. It's not the same, but it was the kind of sad to see Dominic Thiem, who was, you know, won the U.S. Open, you know, losing to yesterday.
He lost to Virales from Peru, who's a good clay court player. And look, when you know that you're retiring, you don't put the same effort on practicing and getting fit and being in good shape, you know. So you just want to do a nice farewell, and yeah, it's sad, but you know, it comes to an end, you know. I got to tell you, with the regards to Rafa, I feel that every time we can talk about him while he's still active, every minute that he's on court, something is happening. So I really, really hope that we're going to get much more from him, and definitely from Novak, huh? So because then it will make the transition into the Alcaraz Sinner era much easier for all of us, you know. So look, it's a big opportunity for a lot of players. Don't be surprised if at least 3 out of the 4 champions or players in the finals are not your common names. I still think that veterans like Berrettini and Fonini, these guys, they can do damage, they can earn points, they can with these wins, they can secure another 1 year on tour at the main draw level, which is important. What breaks these guys, these veterans, is when they have to start competing over the weekend in qualifying. So if they can get into the main draw, it kind of prolongs their career. But listen, I hope that this will be a good preparation week for the ones who are going to the Olympics. And the big story is the Olympics next week. Alcaraz, Novak, Rafa, of course. So there's a lot of excitement. You know, we had Roland Garros. We moved into Wimbledon, which was always probably the most exciting. Now you have the Olympics, which is a huge event. And then we're on our way to 2 Master Series events. Before that, there's a 500 in Washington. Then you have Montreal and Cincinnati, Toronto on the women's side, and adding up to the US Open. Tennis does have a very busy and hectic calendar, not like any other sport. So that's a lot of fun for us, and that's what makes this sport so unique. So guys,
could be a celebration. Rafa and Alcaraz in doubles. It could be like a royal event.
No, for sure. I don't think that you've ever remember that Roger won a medal with Stan Wawrinka. I don't think that it's as exciting now in Roland Garros. If Alcaraz and Rafa can win some medal or compete for the gold medal, that's going to be huge news. And Rafa is a good doubles player. So not so much Alcaraz, but Rafa is. So the fact that it's on clay also gives them a good chance. Let's see how that goes. So guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Write us if you'd like us to talk about a specific topic. And again, for the best seat in the house, join us at PlayersBox.